Alrighty. Hey guys, Josh over here, co-host on your left, Diego, my
Yes,
partner in
sir.
crime on your right of the screen. Welcome back, guys. We
Mm-hmm.
hope you enjoyed this past week of NBA action. Lots of great games, but um, Diego, we just need a moment of silence for the Dallas Mavericks players. Just an absolute tragedy. They lose their
Mm-hmm.
star player because of a decision. They lose their other star player last night. They've been losing
Oh,
key role players. One key trade acquisition. They're supposed to be coming back, but I think their ceiling is completely wiped out the floor after last night's injury. So just a moment of silence for that.
yeah, it's
Okay.
tough out here. Um, I think we should tank Commander, wave the white flag. Dallas Mavericks, more like
You're not getting the
flagless
flag.
Mavericks.
You're not getting them. It's too late for the flag.
I don't know. The Mavs have never moved up in the lottery. I think we're due. I think we're due. 2 years ago, the Mavs were in a similar predicament. What to do? What to do when they didn't play that well and Kyrie just got on the team? Well, we just got a new guy on the team. We have no idea what to do. Everything's going terribly and down horrendously. I think it's time to get a second coming of Derek Lively, whoever that may be. So yeah, that's my
Spencer
only hope
Dinwiddie,
now.
lively pick and rolls, man. It's gonna
Gosh,
east the West alive now. That's the only hope.
God,
Hey, and okay, no disrespect to Spencer Dinwiddie. By the way, that was not meant
no,
to any disrespect to Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm just saying
no,
when you go from Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving in your backcourt to like now you don't have both of them for the rest of the
yeah,
season,
not at
that's gonna
all.
have an impact on your offense.
No, it's a pain. I've never said I disliked him when I feel like he just kind of chucks up shots sometimes. But what can I say? He's the NBA player, so he can do it as he pleases.
Okay, so we'll talk more about the Dallas Mavericks situation later. Um, kind of ramp things up. Start on a positive note here for once. Um,
Yeah.
Cavs just continuing to have a magical season.
Mm-hmm.
You texted me. I think I was watching the Western Michigan's hockey game last night,
Yeah.
or sorry, Friday night with coworkers. Great
Mm-hmm.
game by the way. I did not know Western, if they won, would become the best hockey team in the country, and they won.
Really.
They got their trophy. Was a nail biter towards the end, but they got it done. First text from Diego I got was Celtics are up 25-3 on the Cavs. So I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Looks like Boston's gonna just go on their rain parade of threes, and they did that in the first half. But somehow the Cavs came out of it 49-10 on a season after that game, and
Gosh.
they won 123-16 behind 41 points from Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of this game?
Man, I I did honestly think it was over there for a second. I was sitting there watching in my living room, just like, dang, the Cavs did nothing. It was just such a terrible start. I mean, you had there was a point where they just didn't make a shot at the beginning of the game, and Darius Garland gets the ball, and he's like, "What should I do here? Step back three, brick," and it's like that's not what you need. You need an easy shot. No one's made a shot. There's a lid on the basket. But then eventually a few possessions later, it did kind of turn around. And the biggest thing, we've we've spoken his name many a time on this podcast. Ty Jerome, just the way that when he came in, the whole game changed. He brought an element of like, oh dang, we're down, that's tough. Well, I'll just score these points and cook up a little bit. And I think a big thing as well is the Cavs went into a zone. That really turned things around, especially in the second quarter. I mean, in the second quarter, or game going to halftime, the Cavs really took it back a little bit, and from there it was a really great game. The fourth quarter, it was literally the Evan Mobley show. The whole game it had just been okay. Let's just see what we can get, and then I think in the fourth quarter, Kenny Atkinson was like, "Evan, if we're gonna win this game, it's gonna be on you. You're gonna do this, and you're gonna help us win
And
this
he was in
game."
foul trouble too.
Yeah, I don't know when he got his fourth or fifth foul, but he was playing with like one or two fouls left. That whole fourth quarter, he was amazing, and just the balls to shoot some of those shots when you in the season before you wouldn't have taken that. That is insane. That's some big growth, and I think that's a big reason why they won here. I I love this Cavs team, and I can't sit here and say I don't like the Celtics losing this game. It was great for me, and it's still on my fantasy team. So what
Yeah, I
else?
mean, when you
Yeah.
get 83 points from Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, 30 of which from Jason
Mhm.
Tatum came by halftime. Yeah, what?
Yeah.
I think the stat line read he had 30 points.
Was it?
Um, what would he have?
Yeah,
30
he had
points at
30.
halftime, which is
Mhm.
crazy in itself. 9 boards at halftime and 7 assists. He almost
Insane.
had a triple double by halftime. You know how ridiculous that is? That
That
is just
is.
and the Cavs at that in the second quarter had cut it down to 2 points, which is
Yeah.
insane. Well, the 3 point shooting in Boston clearly helped, like in the beginning of it, but just that stat line from Jason Tatum
Hmm.
is ballistic. Um, heading
18
7
in the first.
threes within the first 8 minutes,
Mhm.
wild
Insane.
stat. So I mean, um, just if there was a game to say the Cavs are for real, this is it. Like, there's been many games and many instances we've seen this, but I don't think this changed anything in the standings. Cavaliers are probably going to be first in the East anyway, but I think this solidified that Celtics are not a lock to make it to the NBA Finals.
Let's go. Um, Another thing, we haven't mentioned another guy's name, DeAndre Hunter. He had a big block on Tatum there in the end. It was really iconic because he blocks it. He's like kind of not sprinting back, but he kind of is backpedaling towards the offensive side. And as he sees that, he sees none of his guys are going to get it, and he knows he tipped it. So he's like, "Oh, I touched it, I touched it, I touched it." He's like trying to make sure they know that he touched it, so they don't like go out of bounds. And it was just a big pickup, showing that's like in their last matchup. That's kind of why they lost. They don't have anyone to really guard Tatum in that sense. And I'm not saying he clamped them up. Clearly, he had 37 points, but you have someone that could guard Tatum in crunch time, and you feel a lot more confident than Karis LeVert, Georges Niang, Isaac Okoro. I mean, Isaac Okoro maybe, but he doesn't do as much offensively as DeAndre Hunter, as we saw on
But
Sunday.
now you have both the Okoro and Hunter to throw
Mm-hmm.
at the offense, and that makes a huge difference. And plus, the other day he had like 32 points, I think.
Yeah,
He's been a beast offensively.
against the Blazers. I mean, the Caps have this great game and then almost lose, go into overtime to the Blazers. The Blazers are such an interesting team. I just played with them on 2K last night, the night before.
Very realistic game to see how they're doing on NBA. Yeah.
I know, right? That's what I've been doing. I bought the new 2K on discount just to feel something. It's been great.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, I think the best thing to sum up here, Cavs in the first team since the 2021-2022 Phoenix Suns to have at least 3 winning streaks of 8 or more games, especially at the start of the season. That was wild. Um,
Not a
if
great
they beat
comparison.
Portland on Sunday, they'll become the 12th team in league history to win 50 of its first 60 games.
Oh, they did that. That was on Sunday. So they're 50 and are they 50 and 10?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm reading this in retrospect from the Athletic. So,
Let
yeah, 12th team in history to do that. So,
me see. Are they straight up 50 and 10 or is it like 50 and 11?
Cavs record. Let's find out.
50 exactly 50 and 10. Yes, that's insane.
Yeah. I mean, with 12 games to go, uh, not much. Like, couldn't be in a better spot. I think they're in a lock to get the #1 seed. Maybe the Knicks might get #2. But after what we saw against them with the Cavs and the Celtics, how much is that really worth?
It's not worth much. I
Whether
mean,
they're the third seed or the second seed, they're not better than either of those teams, even
yeah,
though they're 2.5 games away.
yeah. I was about to say two and a half games is possible. But it's so tough. I don't see that happening, and I think it's fine. I think the Knicks are easily the third best team. They definitely round out on top of the Knicks or the Bucks and the Pacers and the Pistons. But yeah,
I'm
I
just looking
think
at my Bulls. They're like 2.5 games firmly
God.
locked into the last play-in spot of the game, despite having Io just went into season-ending injury, so I don't even know who's on the
Oh
starting
yeah.
roster anymore. It is bad. It is
He's-
so bad. Like I'm not even proud they're making the playing game. Like I'm like, this is the worst spot to be in as a fan. Like you're
Mm-mm.
not getting a lottery pick. You don't have stars on your roster to be excited about to retool
No,
besides Kobe White and
he is
maybe
kind of
Patrick
fired.
Williams, but Patrick Williams is taking a long time to develop.
God, he's taking
I don't feel
forever
good
to
about
develop.
this. I don't
Um,
feel good about this.
my only comment with that is the Mavs and the Bulls are in the same spot in their respective conferences is kind of insane to me. completely different outlooks on the season, and this is where we are now. Just
Yeah.
wild, absolutely wild. That's the game for you, and some general manager. I'm not gonna say what I want to say because it's vulgar. But anyway, general manager bad decisions is a better way to say it.
Let's talk about two better franchises in LA. One of them just grabbed the second seed. I feel
You
like a
know,
week ago we were talking about the Lakers in the fifth spot, and the Clippers are right behind them. Now the Clippers are looking at the playing game because of the way the Warriors are looking in their recent slide
yeah,
on the Clippers front. Um, what did you make of Friday's matchup?
yeah. I think a big thing was just the way LeBron is playing was the first thing. Uh, I was really happy I was home alone because I got to. Oh, my roommate was KO'd. But I was basically home alone. I was just yelling like "My goat!" like repeat. I was like, it was very funny. Um, but just the way he's hustling, the defense he's playing. Chris Dunn had a crazy game to start. Saw Ben Simmons. Oh my god, Ben Simmons on the Clippers makes
I
it
did not
even
know he was on
more
the Clippers before that game happened.
exactly like the connection between the Clippers and the Sixers is just so funny. Just God. Archie Goodwin also interesting player here. He was doing some stuff as well. Um, oh right, I think yeah. Austin Reeves got injured in this game. Oh, there was a moment where Kawhi was being guarded by Dorian Finney-Smith, and man, it threw me back to the 2021 playoffs when Dorian Finney-Smith was also guarding Kawhi, and Kawhi just made him dance, made him look stupid. Obviously, he tried his best, but yeah, I think right. And I wrote down my agenda is that I wanted the Lakers to win because it brings the Clippers down in the standings. Now my agenda is that it's nothing, but yes. And Norman Powell, the Clippers have been very bad. They haven't won a lot of games without Norman Powell. And he is their leading scorer, which you can't tell me isn't at least somewhat surprising because you have James Harden on the team. Kawhi Leonard makes sense because he hasn't played a lot of games, but without Norman Powell, they haven't been the same type of team. So, and then they played again, I think, on Sunday. Yeah, so interesting kind of baseball series for the Clippers, but yeah, big wins for the Lakers. I think they won both of them, and now they're in the 2 seed. They're looking dangerous, and I don't, I don't really know. I don't really know what to make of this. The defense, the buy-in is insane from all the Lakers players.
Especially Dalton Connect, 19 points. He's had a slump recently this year, but
Yeah,
getting back at it, 19 points. Tried to tell you about him. 7 to 10 shots, 4 rebounds, and then a couple steals in that game. That's telling. That's telling. When you're buying in from all fronts on both sides of the ball, that's crazy. I think the one thing to be concerned about, and again, there's a lot to be concerned about when you have Luka Doncic handling the ball and you're trying to blitz him, and then he's just gonna he's a mini LeBron in that he will find the gap in your coverage.
yeah,
Like that is exactly what's gonna happen. But the problem is when you have LeBron and Doncic combining for 14 of the team's 16 turnovers. One,
yeah.
good on the role players for being smart with the ball um, for the entire game. But two, that's a problem. You can't have you can't be giving up easy buckets, especially in a Western Conference like that, where a lot of teams feed off the energy in the fast break, especially in the playoffs. So um, it seems like they're struggling in switch heavy defenses, but overall, being 18-4 since January, pre All Star break,
It's wild.
insane. Props to the Lakers. They literally were looking up the Rockets, the Grizzlies,
Mhm.
Nuggets, and the Thunder. Now they only got to worry about the Thunder, and I like their chances. I really do.
I think it's crazy just the way the Grizzlies and the Rockets have slid, and the Clippers really. Those three teams have slid so hard. I think for sure the Grizzlies and Rockets were fighting for second seed at one point. The Clippers were all the way to the fourth seed, and things have just completely flipped for them. So the Lakers really taking advantage of that. One last thing I want to say is another reminder of that 2021 Western Conference first round series, Clippers Mavs. Luka just going ham on Zubats whenever he gets switched on him. I feel like everyone knows. Everyone knows that's what happens. You get Zubats on a switch and Luka has him, it's over. He's doing whatever he wants. So
He was chirping. He is the Clippers kryptonite. Like
Mhm.
ever since the
It really
bubble,
is.
like he was chirping in this game at them. You got to step up after he made baskets and stuff. When you see that and you had that, that's so empowering for LeBron because you know he can never be Kawhi without that. So, um, yeah,
It's the last second game. Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, I'm slightly kidding when I say that, but I mean, that was just props to JJ Redick, man. I know you said this before we recorded, but just the way he's been able to, even
Lock
with
them
some of the pieces that have moved around, and like, oh, the Lakers will be good 3 to 4 years from now. Um,
in. Yeah.
they're good right now. I think they suddenly, if you had them coming out to the conference finals immediately after that trade happened, that like I'm talking about the day or two after, props to you because they look like they're headed straight on a collision course to face the Thunder, unless the Surging Warriors have something to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that'll be very interesting. The Warriors are currently being the Knicks by 4, or no, down to the Knicks by 4. But yeah, the Warriors are looking good as well. Oh right, this is also Clippers Lakers, kind of a resurrection of the Battle of LA, back from 20. What it was like up until 2021. I don't really know. It kind of a lot like that one year, 1920. That those battles of LA were amazing, and we got robbed of that in the playoffs. So could happen. Could happen this time if I'm looking at the seats correctly. Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, Lakers moon ball going to the moon right now.
And meanwhile, the Mavericks,
This is
awful, awful. And I'm not trying to laugh about this. This was an
no.
awful injury that happened yesterday. Um,
Yep.
I know you're going through it, so just let it all out one more time because you haven't done it already.
Yeah, man. I mean, I had been like, unfortunately, it's obviously saddening and disheartening, and makes me want to just go waving the white flag. But I can't say it's not expected because Kyrie Irving has been playing so many minutes. Every game we've won, just any game, I've been like, oh, how many minutes does Kyrie play? Yeah, over 37 minutes almost every game. And it's just this wasn't his only injury. He had missed some time earlier due to a bulging disc in his back. Like that just sounds so scary. I would not want to play basketball if that was what I had going on in my body. But just the way he's been the model guy, the perfect player, everything. I mean, we've already talked about how he's been so good compared to how he was on the Nets before and whatever. But man, he's done everything. He's been literally a soldier for this team, and it actually hurt seeing that. Like last night, I watched it. I watched the. I wasn't watching the game, but I watched the video of him get injured, and I was like, man, that like took a part out of me, man, and made me really pissed because obviously like, it's all you don't make that trade. Things are a lot different right now. Um, but yeah, it's where we are, and I mean, bright side from last night, Kai Jones put up like 18 and 9.
Only you, man. Only you.
I know, right? Like, like I guess like we have a center maybe now. And the worst part is it made Thursday's injury update that we're gonna get on the three centers. I don't even care anymore, man. Like, what's the point? I actually truly think we should fully tank. Like, get fined however much you want because you're saving money on the contracts. You're not paying Quentin Grimes. You're not paying Luka's Supermax. Pay it on fines for tanking, man. Let's get Cooper Flag or Dylan Harper or just any one of the. Oh, yo, if we get Kasper Siakachonis, he could be a Luka, mini Luka. I'm down for that. Yeah.
Man, already trying to separate himself from Luca now. That's
I mean,
unbelievable.
it's happened. It's happened.
Oh my god.
Gosh.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not much to say. I mean, Kyrie. If
Hmm.
you ever watch any slow motion videos of like
I
Kyrie
love
just
those.
hooping,
Oh man,
it's like chef's kiss, man. The way he
it's
plays, and
everything.
it's a devastating injury. I only hope he's been able to become the same player like when he comes back. And to think about it, he tore his ACL now. He might
Yeah.
not be back till like December or Jan. Yeah. So they got to find a long term solution at point guard and shot creator this offseason
Insane.
because counting on Kyrie to be himself when he comes back December and
That's
January, that's
insane.
not going to happen. That's probably not going to happen until March or April. So you really need a guy that can carry yourself for like 8 months and then some depth. Spencer Dinwiddie, top 10 in the league, coming up right now. I used to joke with that about that with a friend in college. So
Really?
Yeah, which like
For the
he,
Nets?
yeah, I would always I had a phase where I would react like Stephen A. Smith to certain takes.
Ah,
So he and his friends were like big like Brooklyn Nets fans, and Spencer
right.
Dinwiddie was
You went
playing
to
for them at the time,
Rutgers.
and he was balling. So like he's like, oh, Spencer Dinwiddie, top 4 player of all time, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And like the most Stephen,
Really?
I probably didn't say that word for word. I probably can't do it now, but
Yeah.
I just said it in this bad Stephen A. accent, and um, yeah, obviously I knew he was joking. He knew he was joking,
Yeah.
maybe partially,
It's a good vibe.
unless he's glazing the Nets, but um, yeah, it's I mean, who else do they have from the guard? I'm not talking about because Najee Marshall down as far as like their forward depth, they're good, assuming their bigs are coming back
Yeah.
healthy. They're good, but their guards had me
Yeah.
worried about this Luca trade here. It's pretty much Dinwiddie and Max Christie, and that's not enough depth. I'm sorry. And you
That's it.
had Grimes, and you decided, let's just trade him away. Let's let's
Don't need that
2K.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now objectively, they're screwed because now they don't have Grimes, they don't have Irving, they don't have Doncic. They're relying on Spencer
Oh,
Dinwiddie to be the next 34-minute player right now. So
insanity. I mean, yeah, and even our who like one guy I would want to get so many more minutes now and develop, Jaden Hardy. He in last night's game got an ankle sprain and he's gonna be out for some time. So
because
like
not used to playing that many minutes
I
consecutive.
guess so, man. I mean, that's kind of on Jason Kidd for not really playing him, but I mean, we have Dante Exum, but he's not a creator either.
I mean, is it
It's
on Jason
really
Kidd
tough.
for how the situation developed though? Because
Uh,
when you come, like the injury part, you cannot control,
no, but there's
like to
things going.
Davis and Irving, but the Nico deal to do that was a massive, massive bet, man. That was and right now it looks terrible.
It
A year
looks
from now,
insane.
who knows? Maybe it might turn out great for them because
I,
they don't have to pay the supermax money. But
yeah.
after the deals like that, is he even going to be back for their offseason to try and make up for this? Or
Mm,
are you just starting with a new GM?
I don't know,
When that
man.
happens, you got to hope the GM is gone competent.
Yeah.
2, makes the right financial decisions with the whole Doug here.
Mm,
And 3, doesn't totally try to tear up this because now you're waiting for like 5 to 10 years on a roster that was just in the finals last year. So
that's
a move that didn't need to happen happened,
yeah,
and now all the possible negative things happened to majority of players on the roster,
yeah,
and
yeah.
now you could be looking at like entirely blowing this thing up. But the organization believes their title window just closed because Kyrie Irving injured himself yesterday.
No doubt.
That is how significant the situation has become. So
Yeah, I guess only silver lining I can see for this offseason is Kevin Durant is most likely leaving the Suns. I've heard talk on Mavs Twitter that we're getting Kevin Durant somehow. I love the delusion. I'm down for such delusions of grandeur of
but who's
what
passing them the ball?
I don't even care, man. You AD and KD, that's it. That's it. I don't need anything else. We might be bad, but it's gonna be fun. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it. That's nothing more to say there. But God, that would be so insane. We'll have to trade whatever draft picks we have left. Maybe I don't know. But yeah,
Should have got more. So,
should have
um,
gotten more.
yeah, I'm gonna talk about this to talk about a different topic other than this to give you a reprieve from this.
Yeah,
Probably taking a lot of crap and self beat up yourself as a fan. Um,
pain.
okay, 2 teams on the up and up. Rockets and the Thunder. This looks like a really good game. It looked like the Rockets were commanding this game. Keep in mind, they're playing without
Mm-hmm.
Thompson. Amon Thompson, yes, that guy that everybody is absolutely adoring for good
Benzie.
reason. Dylan Brooks, Tari Eason, the other Twin Tower
Jeez.
guy, and Şengün, probably somebody important, right? And
Oh
then
really?
also they haven't been without Fred VanVleet for a while, and they
Okay.
lost by 9. They're probably disappointed in the way they lost, but um, that was a really impressive first half that they played, and I think with this Rockets team, with enough experienced players added to this roster, they're as ready to title contend as anybody. I know they just added a couple of veteran guys, but the way the way Ime Udoka is getting the most out of guys like Jabari Smith sometimes. We'll talk about him a bit. But even Cam Whitmore yesterday, absolute
Coach.
phenomenal game. He played really, really well. I'm trying to pull up his stat line. Um,
I got it right here. 27 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, two steals, 3 blocks, only 2 fouls. Shot 4 of 6 from deep, 10 of 19 overall. God, he played
and
40
and
minutes though.
Reed Shepard too. Like
Mhm.
he had a phenomenal game as well. And I'm just saying, looking at like Cam Whitmore looked comfortable getting into his bag, and Reed Shepard did as well. Like he looked a lot more decisive than he did at the start of the year. And for them to combine for 52 points and have that reflect on how they looked, really good on their depth. I feel
Yeah,
comfortable about that. They're just young, so I'm not going to count on them in the playoffs to be six men of the year type players.
no way.
Um, Jalen Green, 4 assists, okay, good. You want him to be a second tertiary player, and Jabari Smith. Those are the two players I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Jabari Smith, I know he's coming back from a hand injury, but you got to get more consistent out of him because there's some games where he's been like really, really good, having double digit points, and then there's half of his games since he's come back where he's had single digit outputs, and he is 8 of 27 from three, and he can shoot the three well. It's just like he's the only unicorn on this roster that really just raises the Rocket ceiling in a way like no other players can. Because Jalen Green, you might be able to like mix in with Amen Thompson and Fred
Mhm.
VanVleet having a good night, combined with like Reed Shep. Like you can make up Jalen Green's like explosive nights with a number of players. I don't know if you can make up the impact that Jabari Smith has, unless like Shingun just suddenly grows like his offensive game by twofold. Like the combination of Shingun and Jabari Smith hitting on all cylinders really raises that bracket ceiling. So um, they need him back as soon as possible, and that's the thing that stands out here.
Yeah. I think Jabari Smith is a really confusing player to me. I think in his draft in 2022, I believe, because that was Paolo, Chet, and Jabari Smith. And just think like you go 1-2, big drop off Jabari Smith, and he's not a bad player, but he just feels like a 3 and D, straight
He
up
was picked
4 or
third
5.
overall, but yeah,
Yeah, he was picked third overall, and so yeah, I think it's a very interesting spot that he's in. But and it's difficult because what is he now a four because he plays with Shengun, and that's okay, but can he guard fours and threes and be as switchable as that? That's I think the biggest thing for him. But yeah, I mean, good showing from the Rockets. Even though you don't win this game, you really show that even without all your guys, you're still gonna give a good effort, play really hard, and yeah, I mean, we didn't talk about the other side. SGA dropping 51. Everyone's probably heard of that. 5 of 9 from deep, 18 of 30 overall. 51 points on 30 shots is amazingly, amazingly
he.
good.
I was waiting to talk about him, but he
Okay.
was downright unstoppable. Like you didn't even need Jalen Williams in this game with the way he played, and Jalen Williams just dropped 41 the other game.
Yeah.
Like he SGA looked like nobody could guard him, and maybe Whitmore had a couple stops on him,
Hmm.
but there was like nothing you could do. Like he got to his like classic spin around like mid range like shot, like
Hmm.
pull up, shooting from three. Like he just had everything, and like he was so impactful that like Udoka had to go to zone to stop him.
Hmm.
And Udoka's defenses are really really good
Yeah.
normally, but this was just a bad. This was just a bad showing from them to stop the other side. And again, I prefaced this to start by saying they were missing five players and five key contributors at that. But you can't have SGA taking 30 shots when he's having in a half like 27 or 28 already. Like that
Hmm.
is not a good sign. So, um, yeah, you got a little bit of Hardenstein and Chet Holmgren having some nice moments. They're coming together. I
Yeah.
think I saw a
Starting.
crazy stat, but they've only played like 8 games together, and like they missed 63 total games.
Yeah.
Um, Jalen Williams, not your conventional night. It took him like almost a quarter and a half to get going, like get
Hmm.
his first points ever. But like he had some key moments where he stepped up late in the second half. So, um, Yeah, I'm not too worried about the Thunder till it comes to postseason.
No,
So I don't
not at
think this
all.
game really changed anything from my front. I think it was more about like looking at like where the Rockets are this season, how high their ceiling really is.
No, I agree. They're just the Thunder are just on a different level, and I don't think anyone can really catch up to them. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'm excited. I'm excited for the playoffs, and like you said, 12 games left. God, it doesn't feel like that, but yeah, we're just about a month out. Scary.
The one thing that worries me is this is looking like the Raptors of old on LeBron's side.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I'm worried about for Thunder, because the Thunder have gone through so much under Sam Presti, where
Mm,
if you think about the amount of talent he's had,
yeah.
like I'm talking about like from like Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kevin Durant, and how
Yep.
that lineup has evolved to like title contenders 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah.
If they lose to LeBron and the Lakers this season in a playoff series, that's just a devastating blow. Because you have
Yeah.
people questioning have they matured, have they leveled up, have they graduated. The big thing is how they graduated. And there's a lot of eyeballs on this team this season.
A
A
ton.
year after they had phenomenal, which is crazy turnaround, but
Mm,
because they're the number one seed in
two
their
straight
conference,
years. Yeah.
yeah, 2 straight years, mind you, they go out and get
Show
Hardenstein.
something.
Like it's, I have no questions for them until the playoffs.
Yeah, man. We'll see. I think the big thing is what are these second guys doing? Jalen Williams, Aaron Wiggins, Dort, Caruso, or any of them? Who's going to be the second guy, the X factor on that one night? Against the Mavs, none of them really did it. Shea was always balling, but maybe one game, 2 games, you had a Jalen Williams game, but can he show up for multiple games in a series, in multiple series? Who knows? That'll be the big thing there.
Okay, last game here. Going back to the Celtics again.
Yeah,
Um, lone leads. Just that's the one thing that stands out to me. Like, um, they led by 20 in the early third quarter against the Nuggets.
wow,
Jamal Murray, welcome back. He's cut the margin down to 4 points, like on the very first possession in the fourth quarter. But
insane.
because the Nuggets are so bad without Nikola Jokic on the court, Boston was
Really,
able to like outscore Denver's bench with their bench by 17 and be able to hold off for the win.
that's kind of insane. I guess it makes sense. The Nuggets
Without
have had
Porzingis and Holiday, by the way, which they didn't have against the Cavs as well.
either. Yeah, that's just a huge thing. The non-Jokic minutes have always been the Achilles heel of this team because you have Zeke Naji or DeAndre Jordan at center after that, and no, I don't think they had Aaron Gordon either. No, he had an injury as well. It looks like so. I don't know. I don't know what to think of these Nuggets. They go on a huge win streak, then lose to who they lose to? Lakers, and it's kind of you're back on it, but lose to the Celtics. They could definitely win this championship, but it just doesn't. I don't feel confident in that right now. And Russell Westbrook going 2 for 8 on threes, 5 of 13 overall. I'm always gonna be hesitant about what he's gonna do in the playoffs, and they might not be guarding him this way now as aggressively, but they're gonna start sagging off him, and it's gonna happen. So I wonder what the Nuggets will do from there.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who voted for them to go back to the NBA Finals, I'm like hoping they figure it out. But I see the writing on the wall with this team too, where it's like the depth is like Christian Brown and like Bruce Brown were like nice to have bench players that really put them over the top. And then
Mm,
having KCP as like kind of like your quote
starter,
unquote weakest player was really good for them. They don't have two of those three guys anymore. And
yeah,
now it feels like you're putting a lot of pressure on Peyton Watson and like those other guys who can be good to be good consistently every night. And sometimes when they don't have it, puts puts a lot of pressure on Nikola Jokic, who should literally have like 5 or 6 MVPs at this point with the numbers he puts up year after year.
yeah. It's insane. But I'm on the Shea train right now because if
I
voting
don't blame you.
doesn't happen now, it's never happening, and I think it should
Right.
because Shea's going insane. So
Right.
we'll see.
Alrighty, guys. That wraps it up for us. I'm trying to think of what games are going on right now because I just got back and
Yeah,
prepared for this. So, um, yeah, I mean, you got the Indiana Pacers hot streak continuing. They're up 14 on the said Rockets. You were talking about New York Knicks and Warriors. They're up by 8 at halftime right now. Um,
yeah, the Knicks, right?
yeah, sorry, the Knicks and the Warriors. I was thinking about the crazy score in Milwaukee and Atlanta when I was on the NBA.com website. Bulls up 13 on the Cavs. Okay, alrighty. Um,
Insane.
just when I
It's
talk
hard.
mad crap about that team, they just decide to do something. So okay, cool.
It's
Well,
all
Cavs are
part of the
probably going
plan.
to come back and win again. No defense in the Bucks and the Hawks game. Just want to point that
Really?
out. They both have 66 points at the end of one half. So
Yeah, that's pretty high up there.
yeah. But yeah, that'll do it for me, Diego. Anything you want to tell our wonderful audience over here?
I'm good. Just everyone pray for the Mavs to capture that flag. That's it. That's all I got.
That's not happening. Be
We'll see.
realistic, man. Alrighty, guys. You know where to find us. Thank you guys so much for watching. Our Instagram channel is amon.a.mission. Um, my mouse is going crazy right now, so
No worries.
I'm just shifting my monitor and everything like that. Full length videos at Amon a Mission. Until then, we'll see you guys next week.
See you.